a request from everyone. Please mute yourself. Please, I do see some people are unmuted, so we're just getting resound. Yeah, thank you. So please mute yourself during the session and during my presentation, and I will give you the good amount of time at the ending to to clear up any of your queries. And most of the general queries I would be answering from my side during the during the presentation. So so that it will not disturb others and we can enjoy your weekend. Just will complete in time. Okay. All right. Thank you and welcome once again. Very good morning and good evening. And myself is Raghu. I have close to 10 years of experience in IT industry, and I have close to 7+ years. Even it is reaching to 8. I think as a trainer actually. While working, actually, I started doing some trainings and presentations and webinars, and I have, I have worked as a Linux administrator during my early days of my career, and moved into middleware and into DevOps. Okay, so this is my path of journey into different technologies, and work for different giant organizations like Oracle and JP Morgan in very huge environments and big applications. And so delivered so close to 60+ batches on different technologies in these all these 7 years. Okay, so that's all just pretty basic introduction about myself. And so this is the agenda for today's session. So we are going to talk about what is the situation before DevOps. Most probably most of the people might be aware of these things by now, but still we'd like to cover so what is the things or how the things are happening before DevOps. I will give you the business situation where you can understand, and after that we are going to talk about why DevOps is required, and finally we'll understand of course what is DevOps then. Okay, so and here what are the tools which we are going to cover in our syllabus, and we are going to talk about those. I'll just present those things, and as well as finally we'll just go for if you have any question and it's query sessions. Okay, thank you. And let's move on to the first thing. So what is before DevOps, or before entering into DevOps? I usually so had talked with a lot of people, and in generalized to what people understanding about the DevOps. So most of the people think about this particular one as a job doing both development and operations. And some think this is a developer and operations job board.
Hello.
Yeah, please mute yourself. Please hold your questions till the ending. Okay, let me complete my presentation so that after that you can go with that. So please mute yourself. Thank you. So yeah, as I mentioned, so most of the people talking to the most of the people, we usually, talk to so many people about what is this DevOps and all. So their understanding in general, or might be the initial days of talking about DevOps, which is from past couple of years, before to couple of years. People think like it is doing both the development and operations. So that is one thing people think about, and also people think that this is this is the middle guys who is sitting between the developer and operations, and you call it as a DevOps guy. And some people even think that that's a new technology which is being used in the market nowadays. Okay, so whatever it is, so whatever even assumption you have doesn't matter. So let's try to conclude, so why do you require this particular one, so that you will understand it in a very easier way. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the business requirements in the market. So there is a certain division in the market. So in the development area, so which they make the web applications. Okay, to say like the application market. So companies usually develop the applications, and they used to sell them, or so provide service using them, or kind of thing. Different models of products are there, but in the application market, and the trend what is happening is web-based applications. So there is a word called as cloud. Okay, so the cloud is the one which has changed the face of the application. So earlier we used to have rich applications. The best example I would always give the same way, which is Microsoft Office. So the Microsoft Office, earlier, in order to use it, you need to go and download that particular software or purchase the software, and you need to install it. And you need to install it in order to use it. Okay. So whereas now you don't need to install any of the thing. If you have a good Explorer with good internet speed, you can just directly use the use it over the browser, right? So it's moved into web-based application, and that is what the trend happening almost from 2 decades. Not 2 decades, I can say, at least, yeah. In early 2000 itself, okay, this model has been became popular, and Google is the best example. They don't ask you to install any software from your end, so they completely go with web-based applications. And the same trend has been moved, and that is what is cloud. So cloud is basically so hope most of the people are understand that particular what cloud means. Cloud means basically you don't have anything inside your premises, and you just consume and you pay whatever you use for. So that is how it is. And so how do you use that is most of the time we use through web browser, and hence we call it as web-based applications. So that was the trend, and it is the trend in the market right now. Okay. And so as I mentioned, there are some other applications also there, rich applications, but those applications need to still change their business, and they have to move into web-based applications. And some of the examples would be, I already mentioned, like Gmail or Google. So you take Facebook and Amazon e-commerce websites or Amazon Web Services. Take any other products, those you don't need to install anything. So you can just use it on the web browser, and those are web-based applications. And that is the trend. Okay, and we are actually in that particular area. So we are in that particular area to work actually as a DevOps guys, and so in the web-based applications. And here so before to this DevOps, so we are talking about before DevOps, right? So these particular before DevOps, so you are having so I mean to say, like, you come to the software or technical point of view. So web-based applications can be developed with so many softwares like Java, like .NET, Python or Ruby or PHP. So you have even Go language. I haven't mentioned that. So you have Google Go programming. Using any of the one, so you can make the web-based application, right? So, but definitely no doubt in that. The popular one is the popular one is Java, and widely used is Java, and after that you have .NET and Python. Okay, so and very small PHP, and Go is picking up. Okay, but if you look into the enterprise, our main concentration is on enterprise. So that means big applications, critical applications, business applications. Those are widely runs on Java. Okay, so Java is widely used. Okay, no doubt in that. So I remember a statement whenever the Go programming back in 2013, I believe, whenever it is being released by Google. So one of the director or vice president of in that particular webinar, they have mentioned a statement that we will replace Java in next 20 years. Okay, and it just happened 5 years. We just see only it is happening in a very, very minor, considerable way, not in a big scope actually. Okay, but still Java is very huge, and Java applications are very more in the market. No doubt in that. Okay, today's market is completely onto Java. Okay, I mean majority of the products I can say. Okay, so and hence actually our course is also designed for Java related technologies only, and that's what I would like to highlight over here. And to proceed with, so this particular Java related applications has been there from pretty long time. It's not today's I'm not talking about today's business actually. So the business is there and development companies are there, and the development is happening from years. But why this DevOps is coming in today as a requirement, but what is actually happening earlier? Let's talk about how product-based companies are, so doing their releasing their products earlier in the Java environment. So it flows between different teams. There used to be different teams actually over there, and those particular teams are responsible for so delivering the product to the customer. Okay, let's see what are those teams. So there will be developers and there will be customers, and in between you're going to have, we're not developers, we're not customers, but in between, so there are some teams actually who is going to work with, work with developer and customer, or work with developer and release the product to the customer. It's not a single team, so it flows between different teams, and one of the team is build and release engineer. So there used to be a role called as build and release engineer, and what his responsibility is nothing but the designation itself tells that he's going to build. What he's going to build is the technical word of compiling the code and building a product is called as build actually in our Java world. So they are going to build the product and release it. So they are going to maintain the release versions, like they control this versioning also, version 1.1, 1.2, so something like that. So these teams are major responsibilities are those. They have so they have other jobs even. I mean, they have a responsibility to take care, but in major or in the high level, so they do take care of that particular part. And the next thing is so once the build and release engineer makes the product and compiles the code. So if the output comes out, and if the output doesn't come, he will work with the developer and ensure he fix those particular issues if there are any exceptions and kind of thing. So he will talk to the developer and fix those things. And finally, if the product is out from the build team, it will not directly go to the customer. So because testing is really important. So you need to do a QA to your product. So without a QA, you are going to get so bad name instead of getting a good name, right? So you should release your product in a very good way. Okay, so your QA is mandatory. Doesn't matter if any of the industry, whether it is software or any other manufacturing industry, doesn't matter. So QA always matters. Okay, so there is a testing team. So we usually call it as, there are different tools like Q2P. You have, I think, so Selenium. So different guys are there. So manual testing, automated testing. So different teams are there. Depends upon the project, and they do testing. Right. So once the testing is done, if the product goes to the customer directly, depends again. Okay, might not be. So then, so who is the next team who is going to sit out there is, application engineers or middleware engineers. So as I mentioned, okay, so the business is web-based applications. You might not give any product to the customer, so they will just consume that particular product, right? So they are consuming the product. For an example, let me give you, you're accessing gmail.com. So that means the gmail.com application or Gmail application has been hosted in some of the servers inside Google. So how many number doesn't matter. So, but it's still minimum there should be one server where this particular Gmail application has been deployed and you're just using that, right? So, so in enterprise, so Gmail is widely used. One server cannot handle it. So they'll be having a server farms. So big servers. Okay, so if you are having few servers, you might call it as data centers. And if you are having few servers, okay, and then you call it as server farms. Okay, data center farms. A big one, okay. It's like acres and acres, they will be having servers. Okay, so server farms will be there. And, so those applications would be maintained by certain team inside the companies. So that particular team is called as middleware or application engineers. So these guys are responsible for, so upgrading the product from version to version, okay, so which comes from QA. And also there is beneath, there are some other teams also sits in between. So there are database guys who does not actively participate, and also the systems engineer who might not actively participate, but still those are pillars again for delivering the product to the customer. So because every application might require some database, and also your, so your application is running inside a server, you do require systems engineer like Linux admin or Windows admin. Some admins are required in this area. So these 5 people are individually, individually as a teams working together to deliver the product to the customer. Okay, not product might be, so the update to the customer. So where the update can be seen on the web browser by the customer. Okay, so this is what happening. Okay, from pretty long time it was happening over, so few. Last almost like whenever the software industry has been started with different technologies in terms of development, these teams were there all the time, and at least the middleware and these guys might be there from so when these Java technologies came up in major, so they were there, and now this is happening all the time. Then what is the problem now? Okay, all of a sudden, so this team is actually, these teams are causing a lot of problems. So what is the major problems that particular teams are causing is delays. Every team is working very lazily, and lazily in the sense they're consuming more time. Okay, so there will be gaps between team to team always. I hope whoever is working guys in a companies, they would definitely know that, so if they want, they need to follow up with some team. So that will not happen immediately, like, that happens in a team. If it is a team, you might talk to your peer and you can take care of it immediately. But, or if it is a team, the other person also will be having the equal responsibility. But those are different teams, and there are a lot of gaps between. And if any issues comes up, there is always pinpointing. So not this our issue, not our issue, it's their issue. We already told this. Lot of kind of things will come up, come out of the discussion. So this is causing a lot of delays in the releasing the product. Now in today's market, can we afford going with the delay? No, because you don't know tomorrow what product is going to come up and who is going to come up, and there is a tough competition. So even like the companies like SAP and Oracle. So such companies are being competed by very small companies like Salesforce. Okay, so Salesforce is a very small company competing a billion-dollar companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, right? So it's okay. It's really a pain. I mean, if you don't really deliver the product in time, so you don't know tomorrow. It finally affects the business, right? So and actually, Accenture as a company. So someone is unmuted. Please mute yourself so that it will not disturb others. So yeah, so Accenture as a company. So this is not my screenshot. Actually, Accenture some 2016 while I was looking into one of their webinar. So I just seen this particular screenshot, would be interesting for me to collect it and keep it in the here. So what actually Accenture also is one of the big service provider in the market. It's a very big one, and they also have different teams like this being serviced to the different companies, some product-based companies, and they went ahead and do a survey so that what is the problems are being so handled. Sorry, not handled. What are the different problems being arised in the terms of release management? I mean, you're seeing application is not being delivered in time. So what is the problem is happening? So then they found out the very first important point. So that IT organizations. So this statement is really important. IT organizations typically spend more time in testing, deploying, and releasing software. IT organizations typically spend more time testing and deploying and releasing the software. So those three teams covers over there. So testing, QA team, deploying, middleware team, and releasing team, which is nothing but build and release. Then designing and building it. So who is going to design and build it? So the developer is going to build it. So the sad part is the developer is taking very less time. So the innovation, the idea, so comes from developer. They are actually very fast, but the other operations team are not working in the speed what the developers are making the product. So more time is actually spent on these teams, are spent by these particular teams. And the next important point, so all of the time, so you will see the application is crashing, so the application is unavailable. The end customer is going to face some issues, and all of a sudden, okay, so you'll be facing such issues. Why such issues are happening? The issues are happening due to the high proportion of production incidents are a result of human errors in the manual release of software. So they have observed that a decent or a considerable percentage of releases are happening in a manual way. So if we have seen teams like if there are 100 servers, if there are 10 persons in the team, so they split it out into 10 into 10, and so doing the deployment. So that is very funny actually. Okay, but still. Yes, the market used to, or the industry used to solve that way earlier. Okay, I have seen that with my eyes. Okay, very bad situations. Okay, and people even will not listen you. Okay, if you say why don't we use some automation, they will say the automation will make mistake. Okay, so that's fine. We cannot argue with such people, but still, yes, that's a very valid point. Actually, a lot of manual efforts are being done by the back-end operations team, and that's the reason. So you cannot expect 100% accuracy whenever you are doing through a whenever you are being done by a human. So because human is there is a probability that he can make a mistake, right? So that's fine. That's how it is. And the next important point they have mentioned is, so we have observed that so IT development and IT operations have different values. So that is also another problem. So the developer tendency is to release the product as fast as possible, but they come to the IT guys, and these guys will not. To IT in the sense operations. The operations guy will not. These operations guy will not bother about that particular release, because if they do something, update, they don't know whether that is going to be fixed, whether that is a good code or not, and definitely it might. There is a potential probability that it might go wrong, and it might go wrong. These guys will be screwed up. Okay, so that's the reason. So they will say always no, and developers always want to push. So there is a cultural gap between our, values, different values between them. So they are not aligned actually. So these are the three important points. So Accenture has made out in their particular seminar. Okay, so now if these problems continuously arise, you lose the credibility with the customer, because the customer is looking for a good service and expecting the updates as very much fast, and so. Now, if it is continuous, there is a potential chance to lose a customer. And as I mentioned, there is a lot of competency. Other vendors are there who is having the same products. So you might lose the business. Okay. So finally, it affects the business, right? So, and it affects everyone. So you have to be, so considering about these particular problems in a very serious way. And so what are the problems, what you have seen, right? So we need to find out a solution. The problems which we are actually seeing over here is, the teams are not aligned, right? Teams are not aligned, manual releases, and more time for test and build. And the solutions would be very simple. Work as a single team, do the automated deployments instead of doing the manual releases and deployments. Do the automated one, and test and build is also take care of using an automated way. Okay, so that's how so you can handle particular situations. And so now earlier we used to have different teams, as I mentioned. So you have build team, QA team, applications team, and there are no more these particular teams, and everyone, okay, so should be working as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so that is how the DevOps role has been, evolved in the market. It's not any technology. It's only a role which you work on. So if you are working purely on system-related activities, then you will call it as systems engineer. If you are working on network-related activities, you will call it as network engineer. Now you are working on the development-related operations, so then you are calling it as DevOps engineer. It's a role inside the company. It's nowhere a technology. It's not a, it's not a role between doing the both development and operations. It's only the operations guy who take care of development-related activities, which is called as DevOps engineer. Okay, so that is a role inside the company, and you should get a doubt actually. So earlier there are 4 guys are working. So now as a single guy, so can I work on that? Yes, definitely. It is possible only through automated tools, and so we're not going to do manual efforts. So that's what the solution which we came up with, right? And okay, so those are using different tools. Okay, so these are the different tools which I just listed out. Might not be our syllabus, just listed out on different areas. So the different areas actually follow in this area is code, build, test, deploy, monitor, log analytics. So different verticals and different tools actually there. Okay, and so you need to get a question that here, is it happen all of a sudden? Okay, or is there anything changes happen? So these delays are, is fine earlier, but why now? Is only about competency, or is there anything change? Or is there anything change happened? In the organizations? Yes. there is a change happen in the organization in terms of development. So the developers used to use a methodology to complete their product, and that particular methodology earlier used to call it as waterfall model. Okay, so waterfall model is nothing but the name itself will tell you, you gather the requirements, you design it, implement, you do the QA, and finally you release the product. That's all. It's never go back situation. Okay, so the methodology is always go forward, never come back. Okay, so that is what the waterfall model was, and this particular model has been lost its credibility in the market because of the business requirements, because it's very costly, it's very expensive solution. So because you gather the requirements, you do a design, implement, it might take months and years. So companies cannot afford, bearing this much cost for years, putting onto the developers, invest on the developers, and end of the day, if your product is not successful, so it's of no use. It's a loss to a company. So, and that's the reason. Okay, so and also even in the development point of view, also they do want to change something, because in the verification phase, they got some new idea, and if they want to implement it, so it's not going to happen. Okay, so because you have to change your complete design and implementation. Takes very time. Okay, so and due to time, it is very expensive, and companies could not afford that, and closed back in 2008 2009. So there is another methodology has been introduced, and that methodology is Agile methodology. Okay, so today every developers are mostly using Agile methodology, are transforming from waterfall model to Agile methodology, and that is the phase you are seeing this particular demand in the operations. So, okay, so demand in the speed in the operations. Earlier, the slow is, delay is fine. Now the speed is required. Why? Because the developer, whatever the changes they make, should go to the end customer. Depends upon the criticality. It might go every hour also. It might go every day. It might go every week. It might go every alternate week, every month. That again depends upon the product and so the product managers and the commitment to the customers. But so every time or every day, assume that so the code developed by the developer will go to the production. So that depends again. So it's it's Agile methodology. Okay, so Agile is cycle. So what Agile tells is, if you want to make 10 features, okay, so cut it into 10 pieces and release one by one feature. Okay, in that particular features also, if you want to push a small functionalities, yes, you can do that. So that's what Agile tells you. It's all cycle. So they will release small thing and check it out whether it is working or not, and they'll work on the same thing. So as the Agile is in place in the market, everyone is, I think they are seeing with their eyes itself. Every day, at least, depends upon how many number of applications you install. Every day, minimum 10 applications, you'll be getting an update in your mobile. If you have observed or not, I'm not sure. But if you have observed, every day, so if you have minimum installed, so 50 plus applications inside your mobile, definitely you'll get, so minimum 5 applications an update. Why are you getting an update? Okay, so because they are following Agile. And the best example is WhatsApp. I always tell WhatsApp as a best example for Agile methodology. Whenever the WhatsApp has been released, so their focus is only on one thing. So send a message over data. So that's the vision, right? So that's the product. But today, it's not only that, it has a lot of functionalities. So today itself, I was seeing a functionality that they have released, and it is, so a group admin can control who can send messages and who can, control the messages. So yesterday, I have seen a news that they are going to come up with an update that, they are going to limit the forward of messages to only limit to 5. Right? So the features are coming up, the functionalities are being tuned up. So all these are, so everyday changes are going to happen. So that is Agile. Now this is, if you have observed your DevOps symbol or not, so this is DevOps symbol, which shows it as an infinite symbol. It's a never-ending process. You plan, the developer will plan and they code it, okay? And it comes to the operations now, you build it, test it, release it, okay? And operate it and monitor it. It's a continuous process, and customer is going to get those continuous changes to them. Everything is continuous. You are doing deployment, it's a continuous deployment. you're doing some integrations between software to software, it's a continuous integration. It's a never-ending process. Okay, so that's how your DevOps is. It's a never-ending process. And to conclude, concluding is next part, I think. So, and another thing also I would like to mention over here. So you need to think about another perspective, so that I made a point that so they are doing manual releases. So manual releases is tending to a lot of issues actually. And so why you require automation over there is because you are going to have huge number of servers. As a screenshot, I just got Facebook as an example. If you have, I think everyone would be having your Facebook account, but did you ever worry about so Facebook is, or how many servers that Facebook is ever having them in their backend, in their backend data centers? So Facebook doesn't say that, but there is a website called as Data Center Knowledge. From one of their technical presentations back in June 2010, they were running at least 60,000 servers. It is the story of 2010. Okay, so but we are we are in 2018. So how much it might have doubled? Okay, so might be even 100 times. Okay, so but how many servers they are having? Did you ever seen that the Facebook website went down? Right, so it's not. Right, so they are maintaining that much. Okay, so and so it's very huge, and that much servers you need to handle if you go for, not that much if you are into such social website, social networking websites. Yes, it is possible, but not everywhere. But at least you'll be having a decent amount of servers in different environments like this. As dev environments, you'll be having QA environments, production environments, you'll be having a decent amount of servers. Okay, so that's what I would like to mention it over here. And let's conclude. Okay, so and we do require automation due to those reasons. So there are huge number of servers. Okay, so doing it manually is not a possible situation now. We need tools. Now, what is the DevOps? What I always say, it's a development operations. You do take care of development related operation activities, and hence your role is a DevOps engineer, and it is called as DevOps. That's all. Okay, so it's all about automation. It is all about doing the automation to replace any manual effort with a system, means with a tool, or any using some scripting kind of thing, doesn't matter. So it depends upon your situation. If you see any gap that your manual effort is being done, just automate that, either by using some tool or using some system or using some scripting or some other manner, doesn't matter. You have to do it on automation. Scope is always in terms of automation. Okay, so it's all about a culture where people should work together. So now all the people are merging, right? So they are middleware engineers, system engineers, security, all are being merged together. Someone please mute yourself. We're just getting noise from your side. Please. Yeah. Lakshmi or Vijaya, can you please mute those? Yeah. So DevOps is Lakshmi or Vijaya, are you there? Yeah. So yeah, DevOps is a kind of culture you need to ensure that you need to develop. So in order to address the problem management, okay. So I think that most of the companies are delivering that particular delivering that particular kind of trainings in each and every company. I'm not sure who is working being went through or not, but most of the companies are giving cultural trainings with respect to Agile actually. Okay, so that helps in that helps in everyone working in a same same in a same line, so that there won't be any problems. So and even I have been just attended in my companies just a couple of months back. Even in my previous earlier organizations also I have worked those particular sessions. Okay, so it's all about cultural development between in your team. So they do some activities and kind of thing. And finally, so what I would say is DevOps is a tool-based approach. Okay, so you need to do some automation. So you need to have a tools basically where they can do that. Okay, and even it's a tool-based approach. Even any syllabus you take, it's all about tools-based approach. You'll be seeing a list of tools actually what you are going to work on, what they are going to teach on, right? So finally, let's conclude. And these are the different tools which we are going to work on, but not everything in depth. So some of the tools which I'm going to highlight now, so are being just being used, but not been administered completely. But we'll just use those particular tools. We do require that, and so that's how you're going to have. These are the list of tools which we are going to talk about in the code part. As I already shown you, different tools comes under different areas, right? So here in the code part, which we are going to talk about is GitLab, GitHub, and also so the Jira and SonarQube related things. And whereas coming to the build, so we're going to talk about Maven, Jenkins, Nexus, and that is one part. And whereas in the terms of testing, we're going to use shell scripting, Python scripting, Selenium, and JUnit. Okay. And whereas in terms of deployment, so we will use Ansible, Chef, and even okay. So we are going to talk about Docker and Kubernetes also. Okay, in our syllabus. And finally, the monitoring part. So the Nagios and ELK. I'm thinking to replace the Nagios with any other software SaaS solution. Okay, so which gives you more options actually. So let's look into that. That's fine. But one monitoring tool for systems and one monitoring tool for log analytics. And this is the whole syllabus. And actually, we do work on a project. So we are going to have a project which is a 3-tier application, and we are going to work on that particular. We are going to work on that particular 3-tier application. So which consists of database, application, and web server. And we have total 3 types of applications. So which I'll be taking one type of application, and I'll be applying all the operations. And whereas you can take care of the rest of the 2 things. Okay, as a practice, right? So now coming to the project architecture. So we are initially going to talk about how do you do the manual setup and understanding of this particular 3-tier application architecture, and then we are going to do some automation by using different tools like Ansible, GitLab. We'll apply, and Jenkins as a very major one. We use Jenkins as a very major one, and however, in your companies, you'll be having different environments like, Dev, QA, prod. We'll also do the same approach because we want to replicate how real companies will work on the projects. If we try to do that in our even in our our practice sessions also, it helps you in cracking the industries and helps you in understanding the process in a better way. So that's my ideology. And finally, monitoring. And we use Slack also just for communication purpose. That's fine. And these are the tools and architecture which we are going to talk about. And we are going to talk about a project completing on Docker too, Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, so this is the most happening trend in the market, Kubernetes and Docker. So which we cannot exclude these. So we are going to talk about these things too. And before stopping or concluding, I need 1 more minute so that so most of the questions will be gone from here. So DevOps was one of the highly paid jobs has been listed out in 2017. As a number 2 highly paid job in US, which replicates the same thing in India too. And so 50 best jobs in America from Glassdoor has been listed as DevOps engineer. And if you have went through and see the trends, unfortunately, the Indeed.com has stopped the job trends. But if you see the job trends, actually, from 2014 almost to 2017, so you can see that the DevOps is one of the highly most demand or searchable profile by recruiters in the market. So Indeed.com will list out, so highly top 2, major or not major, I mean to say a highly demand profiles in the market. By default, they'll show 2. One is data science and the DevOps, and DevOps was all-time high. Okay, so that was a graph only till 2017. Okay, if you see that. And I think that's all from my side. If you have any questions, please you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute and ask. And if someone is asking, please do not interfere, so that there won't be any noise. Please, we have time. You can just unmute and ask any questions. Yes.
Hi Raghu, this is Shiva.
Yes, Shiva.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, we're from the testing background, okay, and we don't know it. I mean, we don't know that the coding and everything. We doesn't know anything. But what your methodology and what the process goes on, you can use it to evolve the DevOps. I mean, this DevOps.
Okay, what is the question there? I didn't understand.
I mean, like actually, we don't know the testing. I mean, the coding level and then the basic are. I mean, doesn't know about it. But what are the? I mean, what are the? Sorry. What are the things you can use? Like, I mean, any C or Java. I mean, what are the languages we need to know that to know this DevOps?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, so you're not a developer who is going to develop the product. You're just an operations guy. So operations guy doesn't need to work on Java or any other programming which you are working on. You don't need to do that. So yeah, you don't need to worry about that particular part. You don't require even 0.0% of development knowledge actually. And I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we do have, if you are worrying about coding actually, but we do have some code, but it's not like a programming code. It's a scripting code. Okay. So we do need to write some scripts. You need to understand the logic and writing the scripts. Yeah, that part will be there on the operations part. And that we'll see anyhow in the session.
Okay. I mean, that will be in part of the course or else it will be unique?
Yeah, that is part of course. That is part of course.
Okay. Raghu, sorry for the interruption. Hi everyone, small request from my end. People whomever connected directly without getting registered, please provide your details so that we can share you the recorded demo session along with the course content what we are going to cover. The batch will be starting from Monday. So please leave your details so that we can share the link and other details as well. If anyone is connected, newly still few people are there who hasn't provided. Seems you have connected directly. So please leave your details to the organizer so that we can share the details to you. Thank you, Raghu. Please, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So someone has kept a question in the chat that I'm a sysadmin. Do I need to go through some coding part? So if, I think the same answer is applicable. You don't need to go for any coding part. So you do require scripting part. As you are a sysadmin, it is much easier for you over here. So, yeah. So scripting part would be from scratch only.
I mean, Raghu, is there any cloud-based? I mean, cloud-based test project you're gonna take it, or is only for 3-tier application?
Actually, till my earlier batch, I used to have cloud-based related things also, but unfortunately, the time is actually getting into prolonged in a very long way because our concentration is on DevOps, but most of the questions are also coming onto the cloud. So we are actually prolonging, and it is actually causing a problem to a few people. So that is the reason we are not projecting AWS project. Otherwise, my slides usually I just hide that particular slide. So you can see this is the AWS project actually, which we used to take care, but unfortunately we had to hold it. But what we are planning is we will provide some videos of this particular one so that you can just go through the same, the same example which we use in our sessions. We will we'll provide the video and learn from there. So that is all.
Okay. So you're gonna forward that AWS's project videos also.
Right.
Hi Raghu, Chandu here.
Yeah, Chandu.
See, what I understood from our session is first thing we need to know is the Agile methodology, correct? So whoever knows the DevOps, he should go through the Agile methodology, correct?
Not required. So there will be Agile coaches. There is Agile because you are not following that methodology because that is the developer responsibility to follow the methodology, and there will be Agile coaches and Scrum masters inside the company who drive the Agile. It's not you. That's a different role.
Okay. It means that the company whichever the company is using this Agile methodology, there only this DevOps will be used, correct?
Yes, most probably.
Okay, fine. So not much limited company may be using the Agile methodology. I think so.
That's wrong. Everyone is almost transformed and transforming. No, that's wrong.
No, because I'm seeing in my company still it is not being used in our company. So just I had a doubt, so I just revealed it.
Yeah, you need to look outside also, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that is fine. But okay, just had one question, so that I asked you. So another question is coming to scripting point. So scripting, we can do in only Python or any other scripting language.
Yeah. So we are going to talk.
Yes, part of our day.
Go ahead. Please complete.
Hello.
Please complete your question.
Hello.
Yes, Sindhu, please complete your question.
See, as a DevOps operations, as of this part, so we'll be using particular scripting language, correct?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, that's true.
That is Python, I think so.
Okay, is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah. So your question is, okay, which scripting language is widely used or mostly used in the market? Okay, the answer is you cannot say. That depends upon the market again. I mean to say like market.
No, that's whether any scripting language can be included in our DevOps operation.
Let me complete. Okay, you'll get the answer. So. Yeah, so that depends upon the project to project again. Okay, so earlier, in my personal experience, 4 years back, I used to use a lot of Python scripting, and from past 4 years, whichever the projects I'm working on, it's a zero Python, and I'm almost lost the Python, so basics also. So that's how it is. I can manage myself, but I have to refer a kind of thing like that. So that always depends upon the project. But to start with any of the scripting language, whether it is Python or Ruby or something. So the basic one is the shell scripting. Okay, that's what we are actually trying to cover in our syllabus. And okay, so that is what is mandatory, at least to understand the scripting part. And even if you will be seeing our projects also with the shell scripting, you will be handling most of the things you do. You'll start feeling like, so why do you require Python? But it is required. In which situations you do require is if you are dealing with any of the SaaS applications. Let's say Amazon Web Services there, they provide a SaaS solution, and you want to deal with Amazon Web Services. If you go with a shell, yes, you can 100% do that, but it in a very harder way. But if you go for Python, it makes your life a bit easier. So depending upon your requirement criteria, you have to decide what scripting you have to use. You cannot blindly say that, so Python is in demand in market. If you go and use Python or learn Python, it will really not use you or help you. But I'm not stopping you. We are going to, referring the shell scripting, we'll write some couple of Python scripts, that's all. But we're not going to cover the complete Python because our project doesn't require that.
Okay. So majorly Python plays major role, correct?
No, the answer is no. Again, from my perspective, the answer is no. And
okay,
the
so
one
it depends on
their project and their perspective, the Python is major might be. But yeah, from the DevOps perspective, I don't say the Python
from company to company, correct?
Yeah, project to project.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Hello, Raghu. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, this is Hari.
Yeah.
I have a question that we need some softwares, right, for this DevOps. Will you provide this, or we have to download it from somewhere else?
So this is going to be a complete practical course. So so that means, let's say I pick up a topic, something called as Jenkins. So Jenkins, I'll not start using, where my pre-installed Jenkins. I will show you how do you download, how do you install, and how do you work on that. So the same thing will be for each and every tool. So we'll be talking more about those things in the classes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sureka.
Yes,
yeah, actually present I am working in MSBA resources. Past 5 years in .NET. My question is, what is the best way to choose a tool in DevOps? I know JavaScript and AngularJS, WCF, .NET, all the things. I have hand experience. Present I am working in MSBA tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you're from developer background, so it's your choice whether you
No,
want to
development and supporting both. I have hand experience in 10 years.
Okay. So
Yeah,
if you are having the major experience on .NET, so
.NET and MSBI same. 7 years in MSBI, 5 years in .NET.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever the one which you prefer. So if there are any tools which are supporting that particular, I'm basically from a Linux background. I never been on Windows. Even if I get a chance, also I'll not look into it because so Linux is very Windows is a very tiny before Linux. Okay, it's very huge and widely used in the market. So that is the reason our core syllabus is also completely built. Designed for Linux related Java projects only. And we'll be talking those only. So if you feel like, yes, I cannot say that, .NET is less. It is also the considerable market is there, jobs are there. But if you feel that you're from .NET background and you can understand the .NET related things easily, so then you need to look for, is there any tools which can help you in .NET related
supported any data warehousing tools like that, ETLs or something?
Those are completely different roles actually. Those are not included in this area. ETL and data warehousing, it's all backend profiles. It's nowhere in the development related activities.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, from the starting of this career, DevOps is the good for future training, sir.
So that depends upon, again, the number of jobs you get basically as a fresher. They're asking for a fresher.
Yes, sir, I'm fresher. I'm starting my career with any DevOps. For that, in future, there was a demand or not, sir?
Future, you have a lot of demand. Only you need to understand as a fresher, you will get a job or not. Okay, that depends upon, again, company to company. So every company will not take freshers in this area. So some companies would prefer. So at least in my personal experience. Listen.
If you're fresher, there was no development operator for job, sir, as a fresher.
Yeah, listen. Let me complete. Okay. So,
okay.
So that depends upon the company's, strategy. So that how they take their engineers. So in my personal experience, I have recruited. Guys, please, who are not talking, please mute. So in my personal experience, I have recruited 2 people last year, and 2 people just joined, as a freshers in the last week. Okay, that depends upon, again, it's not my role. I mean, completely my perspective. It's my director's perspective that we can train freshers and we can recruit freshers and train them and get them into the project. So that's how it all depends upon the projects. If you are seeing there are jobs, yes, and I see a couple of jobs for a freshers also, and it's purely your call. You can go to Naukri.com and put your DevOps as a fresher, and you can see that how many jobs are coming.
Sir, how months this course period, sir?
It is going to be around less than 2 months. 50 to 60.
Sir. How much fee, sir?
So that the Lakshmi will explain you. Please send the details to Lakshmi or Vijaya, who is the organizer. They will share you the details.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Right. Raghu, so is this going to be daily course or how's it, the IT guy?
Yeah, it's going to be a daily session. I believe in the very basic, very basics. Okay, I cannot eat 1 month's food in 1 day or 1 week's food in 1 day. The same applies with the knowledge also. You cannot digest everything in 1 day. I don't believe in weekend sessions actually. Personally, I have tried, but it never worked out. It won't work out actually. But the success rate was always less, and I always prefer going for daily, and the sessions are daily. Okay, it's Monday to Saturday sessions.
And the timing would be of the same sort?
Sorry?
The timing would be similar to what is it today?
The planned timings are 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Indian time. Morning 6 to 7.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Raghu, my final question, Chandu here.
Yeah.
This DevOps for any web-based application or cloud applications or any restrictions where we can't use DevOps. Because I read one article regarding DevOps because I'm working in a banking domain company. So I heard that these DevOps may not be used in the banking domain. Is this true?
If you talk about banking, I think the JP Morgan is one of the highly big investment company, no doubt in that. I'm not sure from which bank you're working on. I worked in JP Morgan as a DevOps engineer.
Okay, then that's fine. Thank you for clarification.
Yeah. See, that's what. See, banking will no doubt in that. So they always will be lazy in adapting the technology, no doubt in that.
Okay.
So, but over a period of time, definitely you'll see the change.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Finance institutions cannot jump in one day. It's not going to happen. So they have very critical related customers. And it takes time for them to transform. That's the only.
Okay.
Sir, DevOps, which tool is main importance in the IT market? As Jenkins, main tool, DevOps.
It's not about a single tool actually. It's about verticals. What are the verticals you see? Code, build, test, deploy, monitor, and all these tools are important. So for any project to complete, okay, let me give you, as you asked actually, let me give you a small judgment from my perspective that what we are actually trying to do here. So as a DevOps engineer, if you consider your syllabus is actually covering the complete project syllabus or not, so you have go to Google and put like DevOps diagram generator from Xivia Labs. So they have one diagram generator. If you just go for a diagram generator, you put all the tools whatever you have out there, and it should show that it is completing your project. Okay, so that you will understand. So here you can see what are the tools which we are actually talking about. Let's put those particular tools. So we are using Git and also GitLab something. So these two tools, and also we are using Jira for project and issue tracking. And SonarQube we are using. We're going to use SonarQube, and we are going to use Maven as a build tool, and Jenkins as a continuous integration tool, and Nexus. Sorry, yeah, Nexus, and what else? Here you have Docker. I'm mentioned. So Docker, and here again the shell script will not be shown there. That's fine. And JUnit is listed. Okay, and you can use. I think Python also will not be there. And whereas I'll use Selenium, it's only tools it will allow, and Ansible, and use Jeff. And next, what's the next one? Kubernetes. I'm going to talk about Kubernetes, and then some monitoring tool. So I was planning to use New Relic as a monitoring tool, or you can put Nagios, and Elastic ELK is not there. Elasticsearch. Let's put Elasticsearch. So these are the tools which I told we are going to talk about in our syllabus, and let's see how it is going to.
Fresher is important all tools learning.
Obviously, so you have to work on all the areas as I mentioned. So from right from build and engineering testing, all these parts.
Raghu, these are all tools are open source tools?
Yeah, most of them, and some of them are not, but we can use the trial period and we can learn them.
So you will not be selling your software, Raghu?
It's not working. Sorry? Come again.
Hello?
I missed you.
Raghu, Chandu here.
Yes, Chandu.
No.
I think you have some internet problem actually. I'm not sure.
Okay. No, I was talking about this tools already for downloading, and we may not get particular version which is supporting or not supporting. Already you will be having, right? So it is better to share so that we can use it. That's my perspective. I
really didn't understand the context of what you are asking actually.
Just I'm talking about tools which we are going to use in our DevOps operation. So you will be having all those. Yes.
Okay, please send your email to Lakshmi. I mean, organizer might be asking your details. If you have already provided, you'll get those after this section.
Raghu, can you please explain just only a brief explanation of what Docker, what is the Docker, and why it is a tool is useful for DevOps?
Yeah, this is not a right time actually. Even if I tell you, you'll not understand if you don't have any background. So once you complete these particular tools, you'll understand what Docker is.
I have 10 years of experience. Okay, can you please explain about what is the Docker and everything? Just I want to understand the Docker.
Okay, still it is not the right time. It's a containerization tool, and you will only feel it whenever you see the problem. Okay, so 10 years of experience might not help, might be. Okay, so here you can see this. So different tools actually here, different verticals, but you are missing actually one deployment automation tool, which I can use. Ansible or Chef also can be kept over there, and we can take care of this particular. Any syllabus whoever you are seeing, you just go and list out those particular tools. It should put all these verticals. So someone has asked me a question that so which tool is important, and there is no single tool which is important. So right from SEM, right to the environment. So what all verticals you have, each and every vertical is important. If you learn only one vertical, it will not help you. Okay. Any other questions?
Hi Raghu, Murli here.
Yeah.
Hi Raghu. Yeah. Raghu, I'm a .NET developer, and which are the vertical I mainly concentrate, or whether I need to learn any new technologies? Like you explained initially with most of the things are related to Java and Linux based.
All these verticals are as a single job actually. You don't find a single vertical, a single job. Okay, that's what I was trying to tell. Okay, you're a .NET developer. So, and this is a Java related DevOps, and it's your choice to go with Java related DevOps or .NET related DevOps if you want to be coming into the operation side. So that is your choice. And but considerably, okay, the volume for the Windows is very less, and even Microsoft has understood the same issue, and made a statement that Microsoft loves Linux, and they're actually making in their company. So are working on .NET to be working on Linux. So they are making the product. So sooner or later, you might see .NET to be going to work on Linux. So they understood the importance of Linux in the market, and yet they have. So it's your choice now whether you want to be into the bigger market, or based on your knowledge you want to use that knowledge, and you want to see the jobs related to you. So you have .NET related DevOps courses also will be there. But I'm not sure, who would be teaching and all to help you on that. But this is purely on Java DevOps.
Okay, that's fine, Raghu. And for the learning the Java DevOps, whether I need to any prerequisite courses are there, or straight away your training will help us?
Yeah, so straightforward, we are going to start about with whatever the bits and pieces which are required to so start this particular course. We are going to cover those basics, and then we'll move on. You don't require any prerequisite.
Okay, thank you.
Raghu, what is the URL you designed? Something like you showed me right previously.
It's a Xibia Labs. Go to Google and put DevOps diagram generator, and it will help you.
Okay.
So from Xibia Labs.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi Raghu, Arun here.
Yes, Arun.
Yeah, hi. We are working in a system admin profile domain, Raghu. How would be the role of our system admin and cloud admin in DevOps cycle? So how would it be helpful for our career?
So which sysadmin? Windows, Linux, Unix, what?
Windows, VMware, and cloud.
Okay. Okay, so you have two areas where you can enter into. So how it is going to help you means obviously operations, which is system related operations. You might be seeing a very less jobs in the market. So that is how it is, because they are transforming so getting merged into as a DevOps team in the companies, right? So unless until you're pure, so you might find out some company, in some companies as a pure backend, backend operations. So there you'll find out the jobs using some of the tools actually in one of the vertical, like, so here the Ansible and Chef, using such tools, which can help you in getting a job actually. But if you want to be in the more demand in the market, so you have to come to the complete DevOps thing, and because your profile is being less considered, demand in the market, you can use this particular DevOps one. Yeah, and again, as I mentioned, sorry, there is a two paths actually for you. One is you can come into this particular area, or else you can go into, you're already into VMware and vCloud might be. So there is a Azure related, Azure Labs also can help you. So Azure is going to provide the orchestration tool to manage their own cloud. Okay, so that also might help you, but that depends upon, again, I'm not sure how much frequent you get those roles are in the profiles in the market, but yes, you have that role also, which is also a good role and demand role. People were not getting such people.
Okay,
it's
so how does it work in AWS DevOps?
It's all about infra. So you're a VMware guy, so you need to create a server. So you have VMware infrastructure, you create a server. So if you don't want to create a server in VMware and you just want to, because you go for VMware, you have to buy a license from VMware, you have to buy the hardware, and it's how hard to maintain your server up and running. Instead of that, so what companies are doing is they're just going to cloud and taking the servers. That's all. Taking the infra, different services, not only infra, it started with infra. You had different services out there, and we're just consuming those services, and we're paying only how much we use it. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. And these tools can be used with any of the cloud. Okay, it need not to be with a single cloud. So the cloud is another different area. So it can be Amazon Web Services, it can be Google Cloud, it can be Azure, it could be someone else. IBM Cloud, doesn't matter. So yes, these tools remain same. And if in some cases, the tools will be replaced with some of the services inside your cloud. So let's say, for an example, if you go for a Nagios monitoring, you don't need to go for a Nagios monitoring because they provide the monitoring service from themselves itself. So you can just consume that. That's how it is. Any other questions? I think there is some questions in the chat also. Let me go through that. So how does help in sysadmins and cloud admins? Of course, I think I have mentioned that. So can we get any implementations in cloud platform? As I mentioned, so we're going to provide the videos. Unfortunately, I could not able to manage to complete that in given 2 months. So that's the reason we are actually holding out AWS related part, but we will provide you the videos of previous batches, recorded ones. You can go through that, and this project will be explained in AWS also, which will help you a lot actually and understanding AWS. And can you please tell what things are going to do as a DevOps engineer? Yes, this is the question actually I was expecting from anyone because I missed this point. Very good question. So as a DevOps engineer, what is your role inside your company? So as a pure DevOps engineer, your role is going to be in two parts. One is to ensure your product goes from the developer to the customer in a very smooth manner. Okay, without any issues, it should be going there. And the second one is, so as I mentioned, these applications runs on some servers. You need to ensure those servers run all the time up and running. Okay, it is your responsibility. So these are the two, major roles. And these role, it's a role again. It's the company to company, the role might change, the priorities might change, but in general, so these are the two things which will be doing inside any of the DevOps. Any of the company as a DevOps engineer. Yes, and can you take the project projected as an example? And of course, yes, as I already mentioned, so it's going to be the complete practical course, and I'll be completing one project as a real time, and you will be, I'll be providing examples to you, which you can, 2 more projects to you, which you can complete those 2 particular projects, and you'll understand. And someone has mentioned that actually I'm not getting what the course is about. I mean, the motive of this particular course. I'm not sure whether you have been there from starting, but you have been there. Hope you could have understood that. Not sure about that. So, but this is all about, so a role, role inside the companies as a DevOps role, and the DevOps role is going to use different tools, and that's what, different tools which we are going to talk about in our sessions. And the next question is, do we have a real-time project using DevOps? And the answer is yes, I already mentioned that. And how much experience we can claim after completing this course? Again, a good question. So at least if you are in a position to deliver what I have teased you, you can easily keep 3 to 4 years. Okay, and that statement is very difficult to come to that particular level. So if you are able to deliver whatever I am teaching, okay, so that means with closing the eyes, if you are able to deliver the same thing to the other person, so that means you can definitely get a job actually. So there are a lot of students come back and say that. So that particular thing. So if we actually went through your things, it's more than enough in the market. And yes, of course, because I always go through the market standards only. Okay, I always observe the market. Okay, it's not like we are teaching what we know. However, the market is moving, so we always change. And these tools has been changed so many times. Okay, because of the demand in the market, because of few things we need to change. We have to evolve even on the training part also. We have to maintain that particular thing. Yeah.
Hey Raghu, last question.
1 minute. There are couple of questions. I'll just complete that and I'll come back. Yeah. So what knowledge as a person who wants a DevOps is expected to have, like OS, language, everything will be teased in the sessions. But whoever is coming from Linux background is much easier for them because they have their hands are already free on Linux. So for the beginners, it is going to be a bit difficult to so digest that particular Linux related how it works. But by end of the course, you'll be also getting a free hand on that particular part. Okay, so hope I have already answered all the questions. Yeah, thank you. Yes, someone is asking something. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, someone was asking some question. Please go ahead.
How it was useful for system analyst in AWS DevOps?
How is it? Sorry.
Useful for system analyst in AWS DevOps.
Okay, you're working as a sysadmin and you're expecting how is it useful for you?
System analyst. Yes.
Okay, system analyst. Okay, so
yes.
System analyst is a very generic role. I'm not sure what is your roles and responsibilities. You can just go ahead and put your profile. What you work on actually. So system analyst means what you, so that I'll get some idea. No, what you are actually working on, so that I can judge you whether that is a right course for you or not. I can help you on that.
I have completed training for AWS Solution Architect and get the opportunity for system analyst in AWS DevOps.
Okay. So you have completed the course of AWS Solution Associate, Associate, right?
Associate, yes.
Yeah. Have you not went through any of the other certifications?
No, just preparing for certifications.
Any other course you are not planning?
No, now no.
Okay, got it. So that is the most misconception. Most of the guys has been misleaded in the market that so AWS as in demand, okay, will get you a job. That is 100% wrong. Okay, AWS will not give you a job. Okay, this is a very bold statement I'm making because that is true. Okay, but without AWS also will not get a job. Okay, so it's only an add-on which will help you. So the Solution Architect Associate is a very generic course. So they'll be talking about some network component. They'll be talking about sysadmin components. So they'll be talking about some database components. Okay, so some RDS and so some EC2 related things and some some network related VPC part. Okay, but how do you, without having any background, if you just go into that particular area, and how can you put your experience out there, and how can you project your experience? You cannot actually project unless until you have a background. So whoever is having an existing background of, let's say, sysadmins are there. So if they go ahead and complete that AWS Solution Associate and Architect course, both certifications, yes, it will help you because they are from sysadmin background, and that architectures will help you. Without anything, it will not actually help you. So for your question, okay, so that is of no use unless until you have some background. So you should be having some of the background. Either you should be DBA or you should be some analytics. So you told already system analyst. I'm not sure you are what kind of analyst, but what I'm talking about is data analytics. So if you are from data analytics, yes, that is the right profile, and you can go for AWS related. Some certifications or courses are there for data analytics part, and you are and if you are from Linux admin background, you can go there, or if you are from middleware background also, you can go there, but directly going there will not help you. So that's how it is. You have to be in one of the area to use that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, by this time you might have realized that too at me, right? Okay, that's most of the people has not been driven in a right way. Okay, so that's how it happened. As the AWS is demand in the market, so a lot of people went with AWS course and come back says, we are not getting a job. Of course, you'll not get it unless until you get some background. Okay, so yeah, this is a regular frequent question, comes from a lot of people actually. Okay, so if you want to be a very passionate about being a cloud admin, yes, you can do the architect course as well as the DevOps course from Amazon. Yes, that will give you a job. So you have to go to the next 3 levels in terms of certifications and trainings. That will definitely give you a job. But only this associate course will not give you. That's only an intro course. What is what? That's all. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? And I see a question from, so I'm working on TSM and EMC backup and recovery administrator. So how it will help me? I'm not from development background. So development background is not required. If you want to switch, you can switch it, and it's going to be a complete. We are going to do it from scratch. So yeah, so no need to worry on that particular part. So even if you are from non-development background, I am from non-development background. I don't know how to write Hello World program also in Java. No problem. So we are doing the operations.
Hi, that means hi. That means for these 6 steps, we do not require the development background.
Yeah, we don't require development. That's not our role.
So for coding, building, testing, deployment, monitoring, we do not require.
Yeah, code means actually we deal with the code. It's not like we write the code. Yeah, might be confusing. Your point is correct. We deal with the code. Yeah.
And in Python?
Sorry?
Python is a development. That means where
Python Python you have 2 ways. One is your Python scripting and development. So we are actually covering on only scripting part. And with an example, that's all. We are not going to teach the Python completely. It's only about writing some programs because you'll be having already some shell scripting background. So comparing with that, I'll write some couple of Python programs for testing part. Okay, so API testings.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions from anyone else?
Hi, Raghu.
Yeah.
Srinivas, this is Srinivas. Yeah,
yes.
You told me complete. Right now I'm working as a backup administrator, backup and recovery administrator. So you told me now complete switch to DevOps if you want. It's not possible. So with this background, I couldn't able to put my resume. So completely switch means already I have also 7 years of experience in backup and recovery administrator. So now completely switch means I have to put background. So 7 years, right? So in DevOps, so if I put it will be. I have to get more knowledge, right? In DevOps.
Yeah, 7 years you can. It takes some time for you to handle, but you can go for 3 years. You can put that particular experience into DevOps.
Yeah. So simultaneously, do I need to learn another course like AWS something, or DevOps is enough to me?
Yeah, everything is an add-on. I'm not going to stop anyone to learn anything else. Okay, so but yeah, for job perspective, this is fine. And of course, if you just put AWS, you'll get more jobs actually. Yeah.
Okay. So only with DevOps, so with 3 years of experience, so will we get a job, or use any dependency, any multiple course, so like AWS, Linux, scripting, or something?
Yeah. So DevOps means a minimal. They'll be expecting the scripting part, Linux part, and everything. Okay, so that's a very basic. So, however, for a programmer, C language have become a very basic one. Linux has become such basic in the market now. So, showing that you are Linux will not help you. Okay, that's very basic. Now, yes. So, as I mentioned, so nothing is going to stop you from learning. It's always a good thing, and yeah, it's always depends upon the company you're applying. So someone has mentioned that they are using some banking project. They never heard about this even Agile even, right? So in such companies, you will, so they start some, or in some companies, every company is not into cloud. Okay, so they have their own data centers. So in such companies, you can apply as a DevOps guy. But if you put a plus AWS, you'll be seeing more profiles. That's what I have tried to tell you.
Okay, without knowing scripting language, so will we get? Will we know how it's running? How can we write? Is it easy to understand non-background scripting language?
Yeah, it's all about logic. If you know how do you reach home, in multiple ways, I think that logic is fine. It's all about scripting. Is all about logic. I tell in a very basic way. Might be funny, but yes, if you know how to reach your home from office in multiple roads, based on some logic, which is near, which is less traffic. So I need to reach, and that's what is script. Script means logic only, right? So no worry on that particular part. You should be solidly knowing the manual effort what you are doing. Scripting is simply, you are applying some, workflow there. That's all. Flow charts. That's
all. Okay. So thank you, Ravu.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, the batch will be starting from Monday onwards. Timings are from 6 to 7 a.m. IST. So for more details, you can reach us the numbers which I have provided you. So please everyone check your mails. By tomorrow you'll be getting all the details regarding batch starts with timings and link. Thank you everyone for spending time.
Palishmi, is it available or class online? So not the classroom. I'm asking. So is it available at Amirpet?
We don't have any offline classes, Srinivas Garu. I'll talk to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Anyway, you have provided your details, right? So that I can talk to you.
Okay. Thank you.
So people who are already registered, no need to send details in this chart, right?
Sorry, come again.
No. Already I registered. Not required, Chandu. We have your details, okay? Not
fine. Thank you.
Who are connected newly without getting registered, I am asking them only to provide the details.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Any other questions? Final call. Otherwise, it is very late. I think. Please.
Hi, Raghu. This is Arjun.
Yes, Arjun.
Hi, Raghu. I can see a Puppet. What is that? Is it tool? Just I am looking, just searching DevOps jobs. They are requiring Puppet. What is that?
Yeah, so Puppet is a configuration management tool, so which I think you are able to see here, right? this is. So Puppet is a configuration management tool, and we are not actually teaching Puppet in the market. So we are talking about Chef in the market. So which is, what I'm telling. So we're not talking about Puppet. We're talking about Chef because both are same both are same architecture wise. But if you look for the market, okay. So you don't trust my words. So that's what I always tell to everyone. So don't trust me. Always go to internet, and you have internet. Whatever the resource which are available to me is even available to you. So now you, both are two different tools, and you need to judge, so which is more demand in the market. So now you can see here some Edureka. So Edureka is one of the website they do something here, and I think they have took some. They took some screenshots from somewhere. I think this is only the pricing opportunities or usage perspective. Or let me check display. You always get these things. You can just go ahead and look into the market. So what I'm actually trying to tell you over here, let me open the report I actually usually show in the sessions. Let me open them as you asked. So the syllabus is completely made as demand in the market, so that I already mentioned. So whichever is the tool in demand. So earlier Puppet is in demand. Now I used to teach Puppet. Now Puppet is not in demand. I'm not teaching it. That's the only simple funda. Let me open here. So here is the right scale reports actually from different years on cloud and DevOps related technologies. So this is not mine to show you anything. So it just right scale is a company, so they provide the reports. There are a lot of there is a big company for cloud-based service providers. And here, if you just go and look for Chef. Yeah, so this is what the demand in the market. So in 2000, I'm not telling my statistics. So this is what it is. In 2016, whenever they made a survey, so Chef became in demand. Yes, in 2016 or 15. So it became, demand actually, or it has overcome Puppet. So Puppet was there for a pretty long time. And they crossed actually Puppet in 2015, I believe. I don't have that report right now, but so this is 16 report. But you see this, the plan of usage in the market is at least 1%. 1% is more here. So then that 1% makes a lot of difference. So that's the reason we are actually, picking up Chef as in our syllabus. Now, what happened in 2017 then? Okay, we will not judge with only 1 year, right? So we'll go for next year's too. And what happened in, there is this. 1 minute. And this is 2017 report. Let's go through what happened in 2017. So in 2017 also, okay, in 2016, okay, they have seen that 42% of the people were there in 2016, and coming to 2017, it has been reduced to 37%. Whereas Chef people are still, so 37 is to 37. So it is of same thing. Okay. So, but if you observe Ansible, actually there Ansible has become so 20% to 24% in in 2017, and the same thing if you go for 2018 report. So just a couple of months back only this report has been published in 2017. So if you see the Chef versus Puppet, okay, so then Ansible became from 24% to 36%. Ansible is a very big one now, and you see that Chef has 36%, and so Puppet has only 34%. So now hope you can understand now, okay, so which tool is leading, and that tool we're just trying to demonstrate in our sessions, right? So here Chef and Puppet is the same approach, same tools. If you learn one, you can easily learn other. That is not a big deal. And Ansible is another architecture wise, that's a different tool. And in our syllabus, we're actually trying to cover those two things. Makes sense, right?
Okay, Raghu, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Hi, Raghu.
Yes.
This is Jeevan. As you
Yes.
told, you are going to teach Java-based DevOps.
Right.
Okay. Whether it is a difference between the different approach in the different platform using DevOps.
Most of the time we use Linux only in production.
No, this you are going to Java-based technology. No, Java-based DevOps you are going to teach. You told.
Right.
Whether if I go want to work in .NET, there is a different approaches between the DevOps and Java and .NET.
I think so, yes, but I don't know. Okay, so definitely I do think so, because the tools which are supported for .NET would come into picture, but not these tools. So you are learning Java DevOps, you can apply only for Java related DevOps.
Okay, but we're not required to learn the Java now for this.
Java is not required. Java is only the developer making the development on Java. Even if you go for .NET DevOps, you don't need to learn .NET actually. So you just do the operations part.
Okay. Only the approaches is big difference between the based on platform.
Yeah. If the based on the development, not platform.
Yeah.
Platform is a you cannot use that word, but yeah, it's a generic word. But based on the development, if it is Python, yes, I can use most of these particular tools. I can still use most of these tools. Java, you can use this. .NET means, I think so. Yeah. So there you cannot use Apache Maven. So the Maven is completely for Java only. Okay. So there the build tool for .NET will come into picture like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay. All right. No questions? Anyone?
Raghu, last question, Chandi.
Yeah.
This JNU tool is there, right?
Yes.
JNU tool. So we'll be testing some code on this tool, correct?
Right.
So while testing, either we need to write in logic for that to test it.
Actually, to tell in that particular way, you might do that. You might need to do that. So, but that's going to be the UI part. You can take care. Even you can do it. The job you can create from command line and you can upload and do that, or else you can from the UI also. You have options to do that. But that is old methodology. Okay, so you don't require JUnit nowadays. You can go for Python and you can take care of that. But yeah, I cannot say anything, comment on that particular part, but still you can use it if you want to use it. But today's world actually you don't require such tools. Most of the things are happening on API based and SaaS services. So SaaS services would definitely offer APIs, and APIs, Python is major in that particular area. If you're dealing with SaaS, Python comes into picture. JUnit, Selenium, Selenium will be still used for UI testing might be, but for functional testing, it's all about Python, I think so. That's what my observe, over the period of time with the projects which I'm working on, which I'm looking on, but there can be different ways too. Yeah, you can use any of the one. We'll just use it. We'll not talk much on that particular tool.
Okay. Finally, Python or JUnit, whatever it is, finally we are going to test it, correct? Or the code?
Yes. Our product, we are going to test it with all these particular tools.
Okay. That's good. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, all right. No questions. We can meet back on Monday. So the class timing would be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I think Lakshmi will update you. Okay, thank you guys, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for spending time. Please reach us on 829-788-977, which you can see the contact details in your recorded session.